This story contains a graphic image.
Sierra Leoneans are anxiously awaiting an election commission announcement to see who won the presidential runoff. Supporters of the opposition Sierra Leone People's Party say they're convinced Brigadier Julius Maada Bio has won the contest, but a spokesman for the ruling All People's Congress says that its candidate, Samura Kamara, is ahead based on the most recent tabulation of ballots cast. So far, each candidate is agreeing to abide by the National Electoral Commission's tallying system and not undermining the results process. An announcement from the commission is expected soon. It has been delayed several days due in part to fraud complaints. Maada Bio and Kamara are competing to replace outgoing President Ernest Bai Koroma, who is not allowed to run for re-election due to constitutional term limits. Sierra Leone's largely peaceful election process is a relief for the West African nation of 7 million people, which endured a brutal diamond-fueled civil war in the 1990s. The country's next president will be under pressure to revive an economy ravaged in recent years by low prices for its main export, iron ore, and a devastating Ebola outbreak, which killed nearly 4,000 people. Election observers from the EU, AU, and elsewhere say there was a large, peaceful turnout for the vote, more peaceful than the campaign period, marred by tribalism fears. Mustafa Y is president and CEO of Mamba TV.
The EU put out reports. The election was relatively free and fair and credible. Of course, they raised a couple of issues regarding the over-militarization of the election process, the presence of police at polling stations, and also cited numerous attacks on the election commission from both parties.
He says officials of the ruling party have posted that John Mahama, former president of Ghana and chair of the Commonwealth Observer Group, was kicked out of the country for meddling on behalf of the British government. A falsehood Mahama denies vehemently. In Botswana, a new president was sworn in Sunday. He is the landlocked country's 5th post-colonial leader, retired teacher Mogawitsi Masisi. He takes over from former Army General Ian Khama. He inherits a nation with a reputation as one of Africa's rare political and economic success stories. Moving to the Horn of Africa, Ethiopia's parliament and ruling party swore in Abiy Ahmed as its 12th prime minister Monday. Ethiopia's 3rd prime minister in 23 years is promising democratic reforms aimed at ending 3 years of increasing unrest by diffusing ethnic tensions in the Oromia province. Abiy is Oromo, the largest ethnic group in Ethiopia and the wider Horn of Africa. Ahmed, a former Army lieutenant general, replaces Haile Mariam Desalegn, who stepped down in February amid nationwide civil and political unrest. In Egypt, a whopping 97% of the presidential votes cast were for incumbent Abdel Fattah al-Sisi, deepening his grip on the North African nation and the Arab world's most populous country. Egypt is also a key U.S. ally. Critics say al-Sisi's consolidation of power has been marked by an alleged wide-scale repression and targeting of opponents. They also say he arrested or pushed out all credible opponents. Supporters are already pushing to change presidential term limits that would allow al-Sisi to remain in power past his new term. Paul Sisco, VOA News, Washington.
Thanks, Paul, for that interesting report.